Contradictions in the account of Jesus' temptations by Satan in the wilderness. The account of Jesus' temptations by the devil in the wilderness is detailed in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 1 to 11. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. The tempter came to him and said, "If you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread." Jesus answered, "It is written, 'Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God.'" Then the devil took him to the holy city and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. "If you are the Son of God," he said, "throw yourself down. For it is written, 'He will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone.'" Jesus answered him, "It is also written, 'Do not put the Lord your God to the test.'" Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. "All this I will give you," he said, "if you will bow down and worship me." Jesus said to him, "Away from me, Satan. For it is written, 'Worship the Lord your God, and serve him only.'" Then the devil left him, and angels came and attended him. This story is also detailed in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 4, verses 1 to 13, and is briefly mentioned in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 1, verses 12 to 13. We will highlight the main contradictions and differences among the Gospels regarding this story. Timing of the temptations. In the Gospel of Matthew, the temptation began after Jesus had completed 40 days of fasting, whereas in the Gospels of Luke and Mark, the temptation occurred during the 40 days of fasting. Chronological order of the three temptations. In Matthew, the first temptation is turning stones into bread, the second is throwing himself down from the pinnacle of the temple, and the third is offering all the kingdoms of the world to Jesus if he would worship the devil. In Luke, the first temptation is turning a stone into bread, the second is offering all the kingdoms of the world to Jesus if he would worship the devil, and the third is throwing himself from the temple's pinnacle. Wording of the first temptation. In Matthew, the devil asked Jesus to turn some stones into bread. In Luke, he asked him to turn a single stone into bread. Who gave the kingdoms of the world to Satan? God is the absolute ruler and sole owner of the world, and there is no explicit scriptural text stating that God gave the kingdoms of the world to Satan. How could the devil tempt the Son of God? If Jesus were truly divine, it would make no sense for a temptation to try to persuade him to worship the devil. How can a created being ask a perfect God to bow before him? Is it scientifically possible to see all the kingdoms of the world from a high place? It is impossible to see all the kingdoms of the world from the highest peak on Earth, due to the Earth's curvature. The maximum visible distance from a certain height is related by the Earth's curvature. From an elevation of 8,848 meters, one can only see about 336 kilometers. Some commentators have tried to resolve this scientific error by suggesting that the devil showed Jesus the kingdoms of the world in a mental vision or inner revelation, not through direct visual sight. However, this contradicts logic, as there would be no need to go to a high place if the vision were purely mental or occurred in a moment of time. How could Jesus fast for 40 days in the wilderness without food or water, while he could not endure thirst on the cross just hours after the Last Supper? Let us read the Gospel of John, chapter 19, verses 28 to 30. Later, knowing that everything had now been finished, and so that Scripture would be fulfilled, Jesus said, "I am thirsty." A jar of wine vinegar was there, so they soaked a sponge in it, put the sponge on a stalk of the hyssop plant, and lifted it to Jesus' lips. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit.